Welcome back to USA Car Reviews. Today we're taking a closer look at a legend from the late 70s, the 1979 Ford Bronco. This truck wasn't just another SUV, it was a turning point for Ford, a bold move into a growing segment of vehicles designed for adventure, utility, and everyday practicality. Even decades later, the '79 Bronco still stands tall as one of the most iconic off-road machines to come out of Detroit. When you first see the 1979 Bronco, it immediately demands attention. This was the second year of the second generation, and Ford had really hit the mark with its redesign. Compared to the original Bronco, which was more compact and almost Jeep-like in its proportions, the '79 model was full-size, sharing its platform with the Ford F-150 pickup. That gave it a wider stance, a longer wheelbase, and a presence on the road that felt more commanding. It looked rugged but still managed to keep that classic late 70s Ford styling with bold lines, a big grille, and squared-off bodywork. One of the standout features was the removable rear hardtop. This meant you could turn your Bronco into an open-air cruiser, something Jeep drivers had enjoyed for years, but now in a more spacious and comfortable package. Families and off-road enthusiasts alike loved this option, because it offered the freedom of wind in your hair while still having a V8-powered workhorse under the hood. Speaking of the hood, the '79 Bronco came standard with a 351 cubic inch V8, but buyers could also opt for the big 400 cubic inch V8 if they wanted even more muscle. Neither of these engines was shy about drinking gas, but back in 1979, power and torque were the name of the game, especially for a vehicle designed to tow, haul, and conquer trails. Inside, the Bronco mixed utility with comfort. It wasn't luxurious by today's standards, but for the late 70s, it was a step up from the Spartan interior of the original Bronco. You had bench seats, simple but durable materials, and plenty of room for passengers thanks to the full-size body. Ford also offered a range of trims, from the basic Custom to the more upscale Ranger XLT, which gave you nicer upholstery, wood grain accents, and a touch of refinement that made the Bronco appealing not just for farm work or off-roading, but also as a family vehicle. Performance-wise, the '79 Bronco delivered exactly what buyers expected. It came standard with four-wheel drive, solid front and rear axles, and a reputation for being tough enough to handle rough terrain. Whether you were heading into the mountains, crossing muddy trails, or pulling a boat to the lake, the Bronco was up to the task. Its wide stance and sturdy suspension made it stable and reliable, though it wasn't exactly the most fuel-efficient vehicle of its time. Still, in an era before gas prices dominated buyers' decisions, capability mattered more, and the Bronco had plenty of that. The 1979 model year is especially interesting because it marked the final year of the second generation. In 1980, Ford redesigned the Bronco once again, this time going with a slightly smaller body and lighter construction to respond to changing fuel economy standards. That means the '79 Bronco represents the peak of the big, full-size, heavy-duty style. Collectors today often seek out this model because it blends classic 70s design with serious off-road hardware, and it was the last of its kind before regulations forced automakers to rethink their approach. Another reason enthusiasts love the 1979 Bronco is its simplicity. Unlike modern SUVs filled with electronics and complicated systems, this was a straightforward truck. If something broke, you could usually fix it with basic tools. That makes it attractive even today for restorers and hobbyists who want a vehicle that's both nostalgic and practical to maintain. Plus, the aftermarket support for Broncos is huge, with countless options for lift kits, engine upgrades, custom interiors, and modern touches to bring them into the 21st century without losing their vintage soul. Looking back, it's easy to see why the Bronco became such a cultural icon. From outdoor adventures to everyday driving, the '79 model captured the spirit of freedom and rugged independence that defined the late 70s. It was a truck for people who wanted versatility, something that could haul gear, tackle trails, and still look good cruising down Main Street. Ford managed to create a vehicle that appealed to a wide range of buyers, and that's a big reason why the Bronco nameplate survived and eventually came back strong in recent years. Today, a clean 1979 Bronco can fetch serious money, especially if it's in original condition or has been carefully restored. Collectors know this was the last of the heavy-duty full-size Broncos, and that adds to its desirability. Whether you're into vintage trucks, classic SUVs, or just love American automotive history, the '79 Bronco deserves its place in the spotlight. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1979 Ford Bronco. It was bold, powerful, and built for adventure, a true American classic that still turns heads more than 40 years later. Thanks for watching USA Car Reviews. If you enjoyed this look back at a piece of automotive history, be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what classic car or truck you'd like us to cover next.